thought about putting that. I can't do it. I can't think anymore.
So maybe if people can mute if they're not the one speaking, because we've got over 70 people on the call.
You want to go ahead and get us kicked off, Patty?
Sure. If you want to advance the slides. So the agenda for today is we're going to first of all do a brief welcome, and then I'm going to turn it over to Angela, and she's going to carry on the rest of the topics, which are looking for content in transit or content in transit, and then searching for content in transit, new tasks and workflows, and then we're going to open it up for a Q&A session. We've decided on the topic for next month, but we want to also have a section at the end where we ask you all for topics you'd like to see on these future Lunch and Learns. Next slide, Ange. So this is the inaugural meeting of our virtual user group. We've got lots of feedback from clients on things that they're having difficulty with over time. And so what we decided was to put this out here as a team in Microsoft Teams, so that we would be able to not only hold these sessions, do Lunch and Learns, but also post them, as well as allow.
Your recording has reached the maximum length. To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press 3. For delivery options, press 4.
So I don't
to send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that's from, but I don't think it's from Teams.
To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press 3.
I believe whoever
For
tried to
delivery
call
options,
Patty and
press
get
4.
voicemail.
To send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
I don't know where it's coming from.
Me neither. Okay,
To
so
replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press 3. For delivery options, press 4. To send a fax, press 6. To cancel this message, press star. To send this message now, press pound or hang up.
So I'm going to see if I hang up and rejoin if it's from me somehow.
Sorry, I don't know where it's coming from.
Me neither.
Your message has been sent. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Hi, did it go away when I left, or is it still happening?
Yeah, it said goodbye.
Okay. So somehow when it called me, it did that. Okay, so anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to put not only this presentation from today on that team site, but we'll also set up channels so that if people want to message back and forth or ask questions, that they'll be able to do it on that site, as well as putting other information out there. So I think each site probably has from Angela spreadsheets of tasks and workflows and things like that. That kind of information will also be on the site so that it's available to everyone for use. In the meantime, we decided based on the feedback we were getting that the first topic we were going to do was searching for existing tasks and workflows. Then in November, we're going to do a deep dive into understanding the org build. And then we're looking for suggestions from all of you for what the December topic would be. And so I'll turn it over to Angela.
Thank you. So first I'm going to talk about content in transit. So the content in transit is going to be broken down into tasks and workflows, which are going to be specific for the software application that you're working within. And the task is going to be a piece of vendor functionality, and then the workflow is going to be those pieces of vendor functionality put together in the order that they will be completed inside the application that you're working in. So inside transit, you're going to see two different types of content. So there's going to be global content, and global content is going to be built by a Make Solutions analyst using the standards that we've identified at Make Solutions. And the easiest way to tell whether or not a task is has been documented by Make Solutions or whether it's been documented by someone at your organization is the task number. So any task that is created by someone at Make Solutions is going to be a 4-digit or less long task. So client content is, of course, going to be tasks and workflows that's been documented by someone at your organization. It'll be based on the standards that you've identified at your organization. And the easiest way to identify it as a client-specific piece of functionality is that it's going to be a task number that is 100,000 in the 100,000s. So there's a few different ways to go about searching for tasks and workflows inside TransIT. So first I'm going to just go through this list briefly, then I'm going to toggle over to TransIT and start working through how to actually start looking for these things. So when I start working with new clients in TransIT, the biggest thing I hear is that it gets difficult to search for the task name. And I always try to stress with clients to not get stuck up on what the task name is. So inside TransIT, we name tasks and workflows, noun, comma, verb, and in brackets, there's additional identifiers. So it can be tricky when you're first getting used to the content inside TransIT, what that specific noun, comma, verb is. And I would always recommend that having the specific noun, comma, verb be the last way that you start searching for tasks. Until you know how tasks are named, do not get stuck up on searching for tasks by name. And when you're naming your own tasks, also don't get stuck up on making sure you're selecting the right name for your task, because a task name for your organization can be changed at any time. So pick a name that works for you, and if you decide that you want to change it down the road, that's no problem. So when it comes to searching for tasks, using the search icon, I always recommend searching for something specific that you're seeing in the actual application. So we always call out window names or icon names. And so instead of searching for the appropriate noun, comma, verb for the name of your task, think about your application. What's the icon name that you're trying to find a task for? What's the name that opens when you complete that particular action or outcome? And focus on what you're seeing in the application versus what that proper noun, comma, verb is. The next way of searching I'm going to cover is searching by using your filters, so vendor, service, subservice filters, the minus filter, which gets rid of those options from your search, using advanced search, and then as Patty mentioned, there's spreadsheets that I've provided to clients. So I'm going to toggle over to TransIT. So I have entered just our demonstration organization just to keep everything neutral. So the first thing that I mentioned is searching for things that you're going to see in the actual application. So first I'm focusing on my search icon here. So I'm going to click my search. And so instead of searching for the appropriate noun, comma, verb, I'm gonna stick with allergies for now, just to keep something that's kind of basic and easy. So let's say that when I'm searching in PowerChart and I want to be searching for an allergy, I know that the window that I see is the add allergy window. So what I'm going to search for is add allergy. When I do that, what it's done is it's gone through all of the tasks that are in my build, and it's searched the name of the task, it's searched the description of the task, and it's also searched on the inside of the task. So it means that all of the tasks that are currently showing on my screen now, somewhere inside the task, whether it's the name or the description or the details inside, it says add allergy. The quickest way to see what's inside a task would be to click this link here. And so you can see here it says add allergy, etc. You can search, click sign. Let's say we're signing either a power form or an order. You can see what click sign gives me. And you can see now it's given me 5 pages worth of tasks that I can search through to try and figure out which task is the task that I'm looking for. So again, instead of thinking about the appropriate noun, comma, verb, think about what action you're completing, what window you're working in, what icons you're clicking. So focus on searching what you're actually doing rather than the name of the task. So because I have searched based on something specific, it's given me the remove filter link. So I know that there's some kind of filter on my tasks right now. So I'm going to remove that filter to once again display all of my tasks again. So the next feature that I mentioned is searching based on the service, subservice, or vendor. Any of the links that are in these columns here are all links that you can click on to filter down. So let's say I only want to look at tasks that are specific to lab. If I was to click this lab link here, it's going to filter down to only show me tasks that are specific to lab. So you can see I went from 200 some odd pages worth of tasks down to 9 pages of tasks. That's obviously still a lot of tasks to look through, but it's much less than 200. So if I want to filter down even further, so I filter down to lab, let's say I know that the task that I'm looking for has the subservice of specimen collection. I can click specimen collection. So now it's searching only for tasks that have the service of lab selected with the subservice of specimen collection. And again, I've dropped down from 9 pages worth of tasks to 2 pages worth of tasks. As I mentioned, anywhere that you see the show link, you can click the show link just to get a brief look at what's going on inside the task. And I will remove all of the filters. Let's say you don't know specifically what service or subservice has been selected for the task that you're working on. There's this minus link here. If I was to click the minus, it's going to get rid of any task. So I clicked it for quality. And so it's gotten rid of any task that had that as the service. So I can click that as many times as I need until I narrow down the service that I'm wanting to be looking for tasks in. And again, I can remove that filter whenever I'm ready. So in addition to specific services and subservice, you'll see sometimes that there's tasks that have no service or subservice selected for them. What that means is that regardless of what service you are or multiple different services, the task is going to be the same no matter who you are. So if you think of just clicking an option from the menu in PowerChart or clicking an icon, there are certain things that no matter who you're signed in as, you get the exact same action and outcome. So rather than creating multiple different tasks that are giving you the exact same thing, we go with the option of selecting no service and subservice, and that means that anybody can complete that task and they're going to get the same action and outcome. The reason for that would be that if something happens to change, it's much easier to make that change on one task than it would be if you created the exact same task but had a bunch of different services selected, which gives you, say, 10 tasks that are the exact same. You'd have to go in and change them in all 10 locations. Whereas in this case, all 10 people complete the exact same action and outcome. So we've gone with selecting no service and subservice. So again, that just means that multiple different people can complete the same task. in addition to the basic filter options, the column headers here are all sort options. So if you want to sort by specific service or subservice, you can click the header name, and that's going to put things in order. So you can see it's now brought ALS to the top because alphabetically that would be the top, and then it's sorted accordingly. And instead of the remove filter link, it's giving me the remove sort link, so I know that there's a specific sort that's been put on. And I can remove that. So in addition to searching tasks in this way, we have the advanced search. And what this does is this allows you to search for multiple things at one time. So let's say I know that the task that I'm working on is allergy. And I know that I'm working in Cerner and that I'm working in PowerChart. I can select as many or as few options as I want from these options here, and then I click search. And when I do that, you can see that it's put on, it says 50, there's 51 tasks with the filter that I just put on. And you can see that now it's only showing me tasks that are for Cerner, are completed in PowerChart, and have the word allergy somewhere inside the task. When I have that filter on, if I was to go inside one of the tasks, and then I want to go back to my previous search, I've got this icon here, search results. So this is going to retain the same search results that I had. And it'll bring me back and show me all of the different options that are available to me. So again, I'm going to go back into my search options. You can see that it's retained my previous search. If I was wanting to do a different advanced search, I can click the clear form link here. And it will blank out all of the options that were previously set for me, and then I can continue on with a new search. So that would be the different ways to search for tasks inside TransIT. Moving on to workflows. When it comes to workflows, you don't have quite as many different search options available to you. So this would be why I recommend when you're working inside TransIT to have two different browsers going. I like to always have one of my browsers set to tasks, and that will be because with tasks I have more freedom when it comes to searching for different sentences or different icon names. So I always use my second browser to be searching for tasks, and whether I'm working on workflows or I'm working inside a scenario, I have my second browser set to be in whichever area that I'm working on. So again, I've got the search icon here. If I was to click the search icon here, this would be if I'm going to be searching for either the workflow name or the workflow number. So like I said here, we don't have quite as much flexibility. You need to be searching for the specific workflow name, part of the name. So let's say I don't know specifically what the workflow name is, but I know it's allergy, enter. I can search part of the workflow name and it's going to search for me. Or you can type in the number. So when you get more comfortable inside TransIT, if you know what the workflow number is, you can type just the number into that search as well. I'm going to remove my filters here. So again, anything that's in the these blue links here can be used as filter options. So if I want to only be looking for workflows that are Cerner, I can click Cerner, and it's going to filter my list to only show workflows that have Cerner selected as the vendor. I'll remove that. There's the advanced search option available at the workflow level. So if I click my advanced search icon here, Let's say I'm working on a particular group of tasks, so I know, or workflows, I know that I'm working on allergies, and I know that I don't know what the workflow name is, but I know that I want to be including my one task. I can put in that task number and I can see which workflows that task is used in. But I can also search for any of the different search options that I've got here to help narrow down which workflows I'm looking for. So again, let's say I want to search for allergy, and I want to select tasks that are Cerner. I can select as much or as little as I want, and I can click search. And so now it's looked through and it's told me, okay, these are all of the tasks that have allergy in the name and have Cerner selected as the vendor. And I can go inside my workflow. And again, once I've gone inside one of the options that I've selected, it's given me this search results icon, and I can click that icon to go back to my search options, my search results. So that covers the different ways to search for tasks and workflows inside TransIT. The next slide I wanted to cover is new tasks and workflows. So when you get set up with TransIT, you have all of the tasks brought into your organization based on the specific vendors, products, and applications that have been turned on for your organization. We're always adding new content inside TransIT, so it's a good practice to have the people at your organization that are set up as administrators to go through the list of vendors every so often to see, okay, are there any vendors, products, or applications that we're using that have not been turned on, and to make sure that they go in and turn on any vendor that needs to be turned on. Or if you know that there's a new vendor that your organization has started to use, it's a good practice to make sure that the administrators on your team go in and turn that application on inside TransIT. What that does is that when a new vendor has been turned on, it means that there will be new content available to you. So when a different vendor's been turned on, you want to make sure that that you've gone out and you've looked to see if there's any tasks or workflows associated to that vendor, because they will then need to be imported into your organization. So,
hey, Angie, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
So it's even more important when it's not a new vendor, when it's a existing vendor that has new applications or new products. So I know, pretty much everyone on the call has Cerner, and we've added a lot of things for Cerner over the last couple of years. So if you've been using TransIT for 3 or 4 years and haven't gone in to look, you may be creating things from scratch that you don't need to create because we've already created them. So things like equality check and some of the newer things where some of our newer clients had us develop content for them, it's now available in the global area. So it's almost more important if it's something that's a new feature or function for an existing vendor that you go and do this on a regular basis as well.
Okay. And so at the task and workflow level, any user would be able to import new tasks and workflows. So the administrators would be the ones that need to turn those vendors, products, and applications on inside TransIT, but anyone, either the user or the administrator, would be able to import those new tasks and workflows into your build for you. Question and answer. Does anybody have either specific questions about what I've covered, or questions about how to search for tasks, maybe something that I didn't cover that you want to go through right now? Okay. So at any point, if you're working inside transit and you have a question, everybody knows that they're welcome to reach out to myself or Patty, but we also have a general support email address that you can contact. So support@makeSolutionsInc.com. And so if you have any questions that are transit related that you need answered, you can send an email to support@makeSolutionsInc.com. Or call the number provided, and someone will get back to you as quickly as possible with an answer that to your question on transit. You can also find this information for contacting us by going to makesolutionsinc.com.
Hey, I have a question. This is Joy.
Hi, Joy.
I was just wondering, are there going to be any new enhancements and stuff coming up in the near future?
So we're not quite sure when the next release is going to come out, but we are working on enhancements all the time. And I think you guys knew we took a lot of your requests into account with the last major push out, as well as some of the features and functions around the header information. But we are working on new code all the time.
Okay, we appreciate it.
Hi, this is Billy Gillespie. I have a question.
Yes.
Once something has been loaded into testing and put on S for a test, say I realize that I typoed something or didn't change something on the script that I had meant to, is there any way to change it, or do I have to pull it completely out and put it back? Does that make sense? It's like a minor change, but it matters.
So a change to a specific task, you mean?
A change to a specific task, yeah, say it's a task that's already set in the scenario as scheduled for testing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's scheduled for testing tomorrow, and I copied a scenario from last week because it's the same one, but I forgot to change the name on one of the tasks, like the patient's name or something didn't get changed.
Yeah.
Am I able to change it on the fly, or do I have to pull it all the way out?
Yeah. So if you've already added it to a testing dashboard, then you need to remove it from the test dashboard, change the task, and then you can re-add it, and it'll show on the re-added version. If somebody's already started executing that test, you would have to reset all the steps and make the change and then re-add it. Is that what your question was?
Yes, and I was afraid that was the answer.
Yeah. So the only things that can change on the fly in a round of testing are anything that's pulled in from one of the scenario details. So that's why we're really encouraging people to use those scenario details. So if, for example, you were using a test script that you keep uploading over and over again, and it was just the name of a test that you wanted to change, then by making it a procedure or whatever in the header details, you would be able to change it on the fly. But that's the only thing that changes on the fly once a test script is uploaded to a test dashboard.
Gotcha. Now, is there a trick to making that work? I've tried to build scripts and make the patient name show up, and sometimes it fills in and sometimes it doesn't, and I may be doing something wrong.
So, so I don't know if you want to show this, Ange, but if you're in a, it doesn't necessarily show until you get it to the dashboard. So if you put patient name in square brackets, 100% of the time it will show by the time you get to put it on the test dashboard, but it may not if it may not show until you add it to the test dashboard. But if you update it during the round of testing, it'll automatically update real time. So I don't know if you want to show that or not, Ange.
Where could I go to show that?
So if you do a search in a task on square bracket, patient name, square bracket, then it's just going to show as square bracket, patient name, square bracket there. And the same when you go to a workflow, it's going to show as that. But then by the time you get to a scenario, so maybe if you have like so if you go to a scenario in this organization and look for patient name, for example, then it'll say go to scenarios right now. Ange? Did we lose Angela? Oh, Angela's internet dropped. So let me see if I can steal the sharing.
I think you actually cleared it up where you said it may not be visible until you actually put it on for testing. And I got to my scenarios, I'm like, it still says patient name and brackets.
I'm going to show you how you can see it.
Change it to details so that I can update it.
Yeah, but let me just show you here. So if you're in, so if you're in the scenario here, because I think this one's probably going to have, see what's the patient name here, but if you want to see what it's going to look like, I'm pretty sure if I click hide tasks here, that'll resolve it to be the patient name. So look, before it gets to the dashboard, if I want to see what's pulling in for my headers, all I have to do is click the hide tasks. And then if I click show tasks, it goes back to being the square brackets.
Cool.
But that's why we're really pushing everybody as much as possible to use these scenario details, because that really gives you a lot of power. So if you've uploaded a script once, there's no reason to upload it over and over and over again. If you're just changing like the name of a test or whatever, what you would do is you would put it into the header details, whatever it is that's changing, whether it's the patient name or whether it's the actual procedure name or whatever. But anything that's put in here can be changed dynamically during the round of testing. Great question. Does anybody else have any other questions?
Hi, this is Angela. Sorry, my internet's cut out, so I won't be able to start sharing again.
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's great when your internet drops when you're the demo person. So I'd ask if anybody had any other questions, and we haven't heard any other questions yet. The other thing that we were going to do today was ask for suggested topics for the next time. And if people want to email that support@makeSolutionsInc.com with any suggestions for topics, like I said, based on the volume of calls we get, the next topic we're doing is a deep dive on org settings so that people have a better understanding of org settings. So we would be talking about a December topic.
I don't want to rock the boat by even putting this out there because I know that you already did a lunch and learn when that functionality was brought out, but I wonder if maybe pushing ahead a look at how to use the header details inside a scenario would maybe be a better topic for November and have org settings pushed it over to December. What would people's thoughts on that?
I know pretty much everybody else is on mute except for the two of us, but we can make that change. We can do the scenario details next one and then do the org settings in December, especially because you mentioned today that the org settings, that people need to go and look at them to make sure that there's not extra content out there.
This is Brianna. I have a quick question. Are you doing these monthly?
Yes, that's our plan.
And then have the invites already been sent out for that?
No. We just sent out the invite for the first one.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything.
Yeah. Nope. And we did send out the ability to get access to the team site. I know some of the sites are having difficulty with it and some of the sites have decided to not use it, but it is going to be where we post this recording, and it is going to be where Angela posts the slides from today afterwards. And it is the best way of you knowing what's going on with this user group. Are there any other questions? Okay, so if there's no other questions, we'll give everyone back 20 minutes. They can actually go and eat their lunch. And we appreciate everybody joining today.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.